Hello, this is Dawn Tack coming to you from downtown Pittsburgh. This podcast is The Point, where we have real, raw, unscripted conversations about all things wedding planning in the Steel City and beyond. If you've recently said yes and you have some new bling on your hand, or you're a year into planning, this podcast is for you. So let's do it. Let's get right to the point. This is Dawn coming to you from downtown Pittsburgh. This podcast is The Point. We're going to talk all things wedding planning today. And today I have a special guest from Will Travel for Cocktails. Have Lena Heffron with me. Thanks for joining the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so excited. We met briefly at the Sip and Chop show.
Yes.
But we really didn't get a whole lot of time to visit.
It was too busy. Too many brides.
I know.
A great problem to have.
Yeah, it was a great show, wasn't it?
It was. It was so much fun. It was actually our first bridal show that we did for Will Travel for Cocktails.
Yes.
So it was so exciting to be there.
Did you get some good qualified leads from it?
Yes, I met so many beautiful brides. They were interested in the mocktails, I should say, that day, and they were interested in the bartending service. Got a lot of follows, met some new friends, so it was a great day.
And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk a little bit about the mobile bar service.
Yes.
And you're going to help break that down, because I know a lot of brides, maybe they have a venue and they're bringing outside catering.
Yes.
And they need to bring an outside mobile bar.
Yes.
So first, let's talk about a little bit about your background.
Sure.
Rumor has it that you've been in the business for a very long time, although you don't look old enough to be in the business that well.
Thank you for saying that. But yes, so most of my life, like I mentioned to you, my family actually owned a restaurant growing up. So we owned a small diner, and then, I worked my way through college as a server, bartender, eventually got into a supervisor role, and ran with it from there.
And I hear that maybe you worked in the casino too.
I did briefly. Yes, I did. I do love a good casino. I love Las Vegas, love the vibes, but it's always a good time.
Yeah. If you work in the casino, one of the things I will say is that you've pretty much handled any customer grievance.
Yes.
Issue that there possibly can be.
You've seen it all.
You've seen it all.
Even things you didn't want to see.
Things you can't unsee. Yes, I agree. Like, oh, girl, the stories I could tell.
I don't know if it's appropriate for this podcast, but we've seen some things.
Probably not. Probably not. Maybe another one.
Yeah.
But that stated makes you, gives you a little thicker skin.
Yes.
You're a little more resilient, which puts you in a really good place for being a bartender, not just in a bar, but at weddings. Because sometimes when people are at weddings and they don't drink.
Yeah.
And then they drink. Sometimes we see a side of them that we didn't expect.
Yes. Sometimes. Now, I will say in my experience for weddings, it seems like it's always been more upbeat for me. I've been very lucky, like for parties and events. And I think part of that's like for us and my team, like we keep the party going, keep the vibes high. Yeah. I'm very good at reading the room. So if I see someone getting frustrated waiting, which first of all, I don't like people waiting, but if I see someone getting annoyed, I make eye contact. How are you today? How's it going? What are we drinking? I'm good at breaking the ice.
Ooh, I like that.
So I'm very good at handling conflict and nipping in the bud before it even happens.
No, I like that. And that's showing respect to the client that hired you.
Yes.
If that's a couple or a party planner, as well as showing that particular person respect. And I think there's not enough of that. So I give you kudos for that.
Thank you.
So Will Travel for Cocktails is your business. How did you come up with the name?
So you know what? I'm not going to lie. It just came to me one day. I'm an ideas person. So I always have like a million ideas rolling around in here.
Okay.
And I was just thinking, I was at the point working for a corporate restaurant where I was just sick of working for other people.
Yeah.
I hated the normal every day. This is how it's done. This is just how it's always been. And I was just kind of daydreaming, thinking of different things I could do with my love for the industry to kind of make it more personalized. And I thought about bartending. I'm like, weddings need bartenders. There's a lot of barn weddings now that don't have bartenders or anything. And then I was just playing with different names. It just kind of came to me. And I was like, that's so cute. We got to roll with that.
No, I love it. It's memorable. It's short. It's sweet. It's a great name.
Thank you.
You did a good job.
Thank you. A lot of brides like it too at the wedding shows that we do. They're like, oh, we'll travel for cocktails. Where will you go? And I said, we'll go anywhere. We'll travel anywhere. They're like, oh, it's part of the name. I'm like, that's right.
So is your husband a partner with you in the business?
So he helps out. He works a manual job in the oil field. So he's a little busy himself, but he helps me out. I always say he's the hired muscle. So he comes and sets up. So we put him to work.
Me too.
Any brides that were just at the bride show this last weekend saw he stepped in. We actually had a bartender that was sick. And it was a very busy show.
Yeah.
He stayed. He stepped in. He's a great salesman. He was doing his pitch. He was handing out samples. The girls loved him. It was great. So I think he should come in full time. We're going to play that by him, see how it goes.
We're gonna work it out.
Yeah, we're going to work on it.
We're going to see what happens. So There are so many variables when you're hiring a bar
Mhm.
for your wedding. It's not just about you have a great name, how far will you travel, you're
Exactly.
cute and you have a
Oh,
bubbly
thank you.
personality. You have all the customer service vibes that I think any bride would want for their
Yes.
wedding. But let's talk about the compliance part of it
Yes.
because Pennsylvania, the Liquor Control Board
Yes.
has really strong
Yes.
regulations and mandates on this. So, what would brides need to know, first of all, about licensing?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great question to ask. And I like to say my background in corporate has really prepared me for this. Like I know what Pennsylvania expects, especially working at the casino. It's very strict,
Oh, yeah.
you know what's expected. So we're a dry hire mobile bartending service. So what that means is that you hire us and we provide everything but the actual alcohol. So we have the mobile bars, we do the mixers, the ice, the glassware, the napkins, the custom drink menu. And then I give them actually a liquor ordering guide based on their guest count, how long the service is, what drinks we've selected, of how much alcohol they need to order. So
Okay.
I tell them, you make sure that alcohol is there, I'll take care of the rest. So it's good for two things. For one, regulation, it makes it easier and streamlined. For
Okay.
Pennsylvania, the dry hire system works very well. And secondly, the brides kind of save a little money on markups buying the alcohol themselves. So instead
Okay.
of getting markups from like a caterer,
Sure.
they can go anywhere to get the alcohol. They can buy it on sale. They can get whatever brands they like. They can make it as personal as they want.
Wonderful. Is it true that if the bottle's not open, they can take it back?
Correct. And I tell them all the time during the liquor ordering guide, check with your retailer when you order your alcohol. A lot of the ones in Pennsylvania, like fine wine and good spirits, it's only within 14 days, unopened and not chilled. So if you buy it 2 weeks before your wedding, we
Great.
don't use it all. You can take it back and get some money back.
Hey, I love that money saving tip
Absolutely. I always
from
let them know.
Lena. Hey,
Absolutely.
keep your receipt,
Keep your
ask it
receipts.
ahead of time if they can return it, and
Yes.
most will within 14 days.
Absolutely.
What
Always
are
just
your
talk to
go-to
them.
places that you recommend?
Yeah.
Do that.
Yes, so I know for sure fine wine and good spirits in Pennsylvania. My
Okay,
local
big
one, I
one.
always work with them.
Mhm.
A lot of times, a lot of brides near us, because I'm right on the border of West Virginia, they'll hop over the border and go to West Virginia and get it
Yeah.
cheaper, a little bit cheaper.
Everything's cheaper in West
I'm just
Virginia.
saying, if you're on that
It's 20
border,
minutes from
it might be
Robinson.
worth the little drive.
Yeah, yeah, and people don't realize that. There's a lot of things,
Yes.
groceries, food. I remember, during the pandemic when all the, stores in Pittsburgh
Yes.
were sold out.
Oh, yeah.
I
I was
was
in West Virginia.
Yeah.
I made that drive.
There was a line outside the door at the Shop and Save in Weirton, West Virginia, where people buy
We don't mess around with alcohol in Pittsburgh. I will say
Yeah,
that for us. Food and alcohol, we got that. Okay.
yeah.
We're going to make sure it gets covered.
We love our delicacies of
That's
the
right.
palate, right?
That's right.
So your dry bar service, they buy, and then what type of licenses? Do you have any specific licensing that you have to have or your servers have to have?
Yeah, so we're all ramp certified bartenders and we
Okay.
supply your venue with that. As soon as we're hired, we send our ramp certifications over to your venue and we're fully insured with our liability insurance as well. And we send a certificate of that over to the venue as soon as we're hired.
For the brides out there that do not understand what ramp certified
Yeah,
is, can you explain that?
sure. In Pennsylvania, every alcohol server, like whether you're a server or a bartender in a restaurant, needs to be ramp certified. So it's a Pennsylvania certification just for liquor responsibility, just saying that you know how to card someone, you know how to not overserve someone, you're responsible with your alcohol management.
Okay.
Mhm.
And that's a
It's a
requirement.
requirement by law in Pennsylvania. Any
Okay.
restaurant you go to, the servers and bartenders are all ramp certified, and so are we.
Provide a certificate of insurance,
Yep.
which I know I asked you for one
Yes.
when you joined Pittsburgh Bride.
Yes, and we're
Thank you
actually
for joining us.
absolutely, I'm happy to be here. It's one of the best things I did for my business.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I want to
met so
hear.
many fun people, other vendors, brides. It's a great network to be a part of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that it's all about community. When I started Pittsburgh Brides, my original vision was Mr.
Oh,
Rogers.
I love that.
I was like, I want everyone to be neighborly. I want everyone to be full. I don't
Yes.
want it to be sales pitchy where we're all
Yes.
pushing our products, but we're empowering and helping each other. And that's
Yes.
exactly what it's created. And I'm so happy that we did.
Yes, that's why I love it too, because especially in this industry, there can be some, it is a sales industry, so there's a little
Yeah, we're all
competition.
self.
But
Yeah,
however, I think there's enough room for everyone. I think there's
absolutely.
enough room for everyone, and we can all learn from each other and help each other.
Absolutely. Do you know that there was over 6,500 weddings in Allegheny County
My gosh.
last year,
I
just in
I can
Allegheny
believe
County?
it. And this year I think we're trending upwards, aren't we?
Yes,
Yeah,
and that's just Allegheny County.
yeah,
That doesn't account for Mercer,
right.
Washington, South Fayette, Beaver,
Right.
Butler. all the other counties, and there's plenty of work for everyone.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There's no reason to, not hoorah
Yeah.
and fix some other
That's
girl's
my point
crown.
of view. That's my
Yeah,
point of view, and
me
I'm
too.
very into women supporting women, you know? So if
Absolutely.
somebody needs help,
Yes.
somebody needs a second hand, I'm
Yeah.
there for you. Like,
Yeah.
you need a second opinion. I always say I'm chronically online. Send me a DM. Let me know. I'll help you.
I love that. I love that. So I do know also that it's a good idea to have what they call host liquor liability. A lot of
Mhm.
the venues will require that. Do you know what that is? Do you understand that?
So I don't have that right now. We just have the liability insurance and the
Sure.
ramp certification, and we have
Okay.
our LLC.
Correct.
But no, I should look into that.
So typically what that means is, and most couples should have this.
Okay.
And if you don't know anything about it, I'm going to shout out Kayla Busby. She practices in wedding insurance and she
Nice.
taught me a lot about this. But your host liquor liability is like, let's say you're having a party at your house
Mhm.
and you don't have bartenders, but you're serving alcohol. Like it protects you for anything that
Oh,
happens
I
to
see.
anyone there. Like if they leave that
Oh,
property and
that's a great
something
thing
that
to have.
happens. Yes. And a lot of venues will ask for that now. They'll
Mhm.
ask for host liquor, is what it's called, host liquor
Okay.
liability. And it's basically just a blanket coverage that covers the couple, and it's not very
I actually
expensive.
love that because
Yeah.
even our liability insurance wasn't that expensive, you know?
Right.
I love that just for peace of mind.
And it's just per diem, it's just for that day.
Yeah.
You're not buying it for like, an annual policy.
Yeah.
It's, $100
No.
or
Maybe I
something.
should
And
start recommending that to
you
brides when they
should.
book us.
You
That's
really
a great
should.
idea to have.
You really should
Yeah.
because it's belts and suspenders because you just never know.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love being prepared. So I'm always have, contingency plans on contingency plans, so
Yeah, well, you know what? In the event space, you really need to be a Girl Scout.
yes, you need to be prepared if something goes wrong, a light's not working, you run out of a certain
Power.
type of alcohol,
Yep.
power. We've seen it all, right?
Yeah, you
You gotta
smell.
be you
You
gotta be
don't.
ready.
You have to have, your knife ready, your badges, hammer,
I
your
always said when I was training
screwdrivers.
servers, the guests don't know what's going on. It's the same for weddings. The guests don't know if you're out of
Yeah,
if your ice machine's
sure.
broken or you dropped a bottle, you're out of a certain type of vodka. They don't know. Just make
Yeah,
it happen, right? What's
yeah.
your backup plan? Let's keep rolling. The party goes on.
Agree with you 100%. I tell everyone, I've been in the event space for 30
Mhm,
years and 20 years almost with Elite Casino Events.
mhm,
And I tell everyone, I'm like, I'm not an event planner
right.
because we do a lot of corporate events. We're
Mhm.
really big in corporate. We do weddings, we do private functions, milestone birthdays, things like that. But every event has a fire.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. It's the same
Yeah.
with us, regular service for restaurants too.
Yeah.
There's always a fire to put out. And
And
it's just how you handle that.
how you handle it.
Mhm.
And as long as they don't know there was a fire,
Exactly.
like if
They
you
never
could.
need to know.
And a lot
Mhm.
of times, I think that's the difference between an amateur and a professional.
Absolutely.
And I want to talk about that a little bit
Mhm.
because you're new
Mhm.
to the space, wedding space,
Mhm.
but you've been a professional your entire life.
Yeah, so 12 years professionally working in restaurants, the last
Okay.
6 years as a manager. So
Uh,
I'm used to being responsible for the big picture,
And
you
you
know?
worked in the casino as well.
Yes.
So you've dealt with a lot of disgruntled guests,
Yes.
happy guests, intoxicated guests.
Yeah,
You've,
absolutely.
you've had to call security a couple
I've
times, I'm
escorted
sure.
them out myself a couple myself a couple times.
There's this stigma that I see within the
Mhm.
industry that, oh, you've only been in business for a
Yes.
year. And they have it sometimes other businesses that are in the industry. I don't know where they're coming from. I think maybe it's how they sell a
Yeah.
negative capacity instead of a positive one. But sometimes they're dismissive
Yes.
of new businesses. My perspective is you worked in the industry for 12
Mhm.
years. You worked in one of the most hostile bar environments working in the casino. You worked in food and beverage with your family
Mhm.
your entire life. Those professional skill sets that you have, you're taking with you and launching your new business.
Right.
And you are so freaking entitled to that
Thank
and to
you.
do that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's just something that comes naturally for me just because I've been a part of it for so long, and I genuinely love what I do, and I have brides tell me that. I just had one recently that I sent a menu proposal to because we do all custom drinks for your wedding, so we talk to
Oh,
them, "What's your favorite drink? What's the flavor? What's the vibe of your wedding? What's the season?" And I come to you with a proposal of several different drinks for you to choose from, and she calls me up. And she goes, Lena, you make this so hard for me. How am I supposed to choose two? How am I supposed to choose just two?
Oh, that's so fun. I love that.
I loved it. She's like, no, you could tell you love what you do. She's like, you can honestly tell, like, this is beautiful.
And that's the secret sauce.
Exactly.
And I'm going to just go right there. Like, if you don't love what you do, get the frick out and make room for somebody that does.
Absolutely.
Have passion for involvement, follow compliance, follow the law, make sure that you're covered legally, make sure that you're accountable. I mean, it makes it easier on the bride if there is an issue or a concern that they can find you, that they know how to find you. We live in a world where people are getting ghosted all the time.
Yes.
Transparency is a good thing.
Yes.
It's a good thing that they know that they can find you, that you are licensed, that you have your ramp certification, that you are licensed with the state. All of those things matter. And that's part of Pittsburgh Brides. That's what we're doing. We're like, it's one thing to be a side gig worker and you want to be a DJ on the side on weekends and you want them to just pay you directly. You don't want any licensing or anything like that. And I'm not going to say that they don't have a right to do that as well. They do. But when you're a small business, you better be able to be found.
Yes, absolutely. Because honestly, that's how you're promoting yourself. That's how you're making brides trust you, right?
Yeah.
As per what I love about Pittsburgh Brides, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I don't think the Knot like vets people.
They don't.
And I'm on there. I'm on the Knot. I've gotten a lot of, leads from the Knot. I'm not, but they don't vet. I've warned my brides against it. I was like, they don't vet them. They don't check that you have insurance. They don't check that you're verified with the state.
None of that.
Where Pittsburgh Brides, when I refer them to Pittsburgh Brides, everyone's been vetted, They know they're a real business. You can look on the state directory. They're registered with the state. They're fully insured. Go on Pittsburgh Brides. What caterers are around you,
And we say no.
Yeah.
We say, I'm
if
sorry.
If they're not legit, get them out of here.
And it's sad sometimes for us because we like the person and we're like, go get your licensing, go get registered with the state. But until you're a legal, legit business, like we can't vet you. We need to know that we can find you if we need to find you. And another thing a lot of people don't know about the Knot is that they do those badges, the best of the Knot, the best of Wedding Wire. I don't know about Zola, but do you know that, and this is so misleading to the brides as well, you only have to have 5 reviews by the end of October to win the best of. If you and I are in the same category, it's not like you had 10 and I had 8 and so you won.
Yeah.
As long as I have 5 and you have 5 or you have 6, we both win.
Interesting. I don't know. I don't know.
It's kind of doggy dog.
That's interesting. And I just I'm a local person, I love that Pittsburgh Brides is local. I love that you can go to one of your shows and meet us face to face, right?
Yeah.
And go meet your vendor, meet Dawn. You can come down and have a podcast with Dawn. You come and sit with her.
Yes. And I want some brides to come podcast with me. I would love that. But it's disingenuous to the brides because they use that as a reference point for when they're shopping. And they're like, oh, well, they have, all these badges for Best of the Knot for the last 5 years. Okay, that means 25 people reviewed them.
Yeah.
And those people are not vetted either, just like they don't vet the businesses.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, and the reviews could be anybody.
It could be anybody.
It could be themselves in 25 different emails.
It could be their mom. It could be their husband. It could be their child. It can be anyone. There's no validity that is actually a couple. And so it's sad and it's misleading. So brides, when you're vetting your vendors, you're looking for all the things that we're talking about. And we have a checklist. I did a blog on this, and I also have a downloadable list on how to vet your vendors. I'm going to pop it in for you so that it will help you, because the last thing we want is for anything to go wrong on your wedding day. We want you to be belts and suspenders, right? Girl Scout, prepared for anything.
And I actually used your system that you had to help a friend the other day. Yeah, she's getting married in New York, and she found a caterer in New York, and she was like, something just doesn't feel right.
Okay.
She sent her an email from her, and the catalog of what to choose from with a lot of options, but it was too many options almost. Like it just seemed too good to be true compared to other prices in the area. And I said, did you look her up on the state website to make sure her business is filed with the state? No, I didn't think of that. So we went on the New York one, no business to be found.
Oh, wow.
We went through social media.
Yeah.
Only found her on the Knot, didn't find her anywhere else. And
I was
so
you learned.
I was like, it could be someone just cooking, that's not fully licensed, but I don't know if I would trust them. I wouldn't do it.
And a caterer has to be licensed through the state.
Especially where are they cooking from if they're not on the state?
No, they have to be. That's like a ramp certification.
Right.
They have to have a catering, they have to be cleared through, all the powers that be on that.
Yes.
So it's really important.
Yeah, so nothing.
Feels like there's kids running in the
I
hall.
know.
What do you
I
think?
did hear that, but you can never be too careful, right?
Right.
Especially when it comes to your wedding day,
Yeah.
your money, your hard work for money, right?
Yeah.
You don't wanna give
Yeah.
that to anybody.
No, and especially catering because that's one of the one of the fundamental things of your wedding.
Yeah.
Catering is bad, it could domino from
Oh,
there.
absolutely, and I'm a big foodie, I need something good. I need something good.
I want it warm, lukewarm, and I want it
Yes.
served on time and all of those things.
Yes, absolutally.
So, you're gonna have a birthday this
I
week?
am this Saturday,
Happy
Pisces gang,
birthday.
hello, but
Happy birthday.
thank you so much, I'm really looking forward to it, so I'm actually going to see my sister this weekend in Denver. She's having a baby, so I'm throwing her a baby shower Sunday. I told her that's what I wanted for my birthday to see her, so I'm very excited.
And so I'm really happy for you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
But I love that you're at the perfect age for an entrepreneur. Like you have enough vested time at the table or at the bar,
Thank you.
working at all these other venues. You've had the real life experience. Circling back to what I was saying
Yeah.
about how sometimes those newer businesses are
Mhm.
discounted because they're new or maybe they don't have as many reviews.
Yeah.
I say that the experience that you had those 12 years, it transitions into your new en entrepreneurship.
Yes, I think I've definitely earned my stripes in the industry,
Yeah,
and I'm ready to take that and run with it. And I have no issue with someone being like, "You're a new business. Tell me about yourself." We could
yeah,
sit here and talk about it because you know what? As soon as you talk to me, you realize she knows what she's talking about. She's done this before.
right, and, when you have your own business and you're new in that field, I think personally, sometimes you work a little bit harder.
Oh, absolutely. And, it's my passion. So for me, it's my passion project. So I'm always excited. Who's messaging me? Who called me? Who am I talking to today?
Yeah,
What
three
can I
o'clock in the
post?
morning.
Yes. My husband keeps making fun of me. He's like, "What are you doing on your phone? Are you
Yeah.
on TikTok?" I was like, "I'm working." Sometimes I'm on TikTok, but I'm working.
But that comes from the passion for involvement
Yes.
of building your business, and you get that, and it's a bonus to the brides. It's
Yes.
not a hindrance to the couples
Yes.
that you're new. It's actually a bonus
Yes,
that
because
you're new.
you want it for me, I like things to be perfect. Like I have a vision in my mind. I'm like, this is what we're gonna do. We share each other's vision. Like I talk to the bride, she loops me in on what she's thinking. I give her my ideas and we run with it. We
And
make it happen.
and not only that, because you're new, those reviews,
Mhm.
whether it's on the Knot or
Yeah.
Google or Facebook or wherever, they're invaluable to you because
Yes.
you're new. You don't
Yes.
already have dozens of reviews
Right.
from dozens of
Absolutely.
weddings. So it's really important for you to go in there and kill it.
Yes.
Not
Absolutely.
just do well, but kill it and
Yes.
overperform for that couple. And I think a lot of times, that submissiveness that comes along with new vendors, whether it's catering, bar
Mhm.
catering, photography, a florist, anyone in any realm in the wedding industry, I don't think it's fair. I think it's really unfair that they make those statements and, dismiss you so easily. I was like, one thing about being an entrepreneur is that you're always running a race.
Yes.
You're always there's the goalpost keeps moving a little bit for you. You make a certain amount of money, then you want to make a certain amount more
Yeah.
money. You're in this realm and now you want to be in this realm. You might go from bar catering, you might go into food catering because of your background. You don't know. You're always expanding, always growing, and you're always wanting to grow.
Yeah.
And the younger you are, the more eager that you are in the business. As you get
Yes.
older, sometimes you get a little more complacent and you're like, okay, I'm in this box. I'm happy here.
Yeah.
I don't really want to push the envelope anymore.
I've never been like that all my life. I'm always
I
ready.
know, me
I wanna
neither.
get out of the box. Let me out. I
No,
always
me
have an
either.
idea. I always have a
No,
new idea and, different things that you can grow with, and I feel like for this industry, like, as I started out, every time I meet someone new or do a new event, a new door opens, and
yeah,
there's new opportunities, and it's so exciting.
yeah. So, that's a skill set that not everyone has. Like
I've always been a people person, as you can probably tell talking to me.
the
I can
digital
talk to anyone.
the digital world has done some damage and not everyone has that gift and
Mhm.
it takes a certain person to be behind the bar with a bunch of strangers in the room and make everyone feel warm and welcome and they got caught in the rain and their jackets wet. They're a little bit unhappy but you make them smile.
Yes, and it is a gift, and you know what? I always say I hire personality hires. I know it's a joke online, but I hire for the bar personality hires
Yeah,
because anyone can learn how to make a drink. It's how you interact with the guest.
Absolutely.
You know, I can teach anyone how to bartend.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
100%. I'm a big believer in that too. When I talk to my clients for elite casino events and I'm doing an intro call,
Mhm.
I was like, I hire only certified dealers
Yeah.
because for them, dealing is like, driving their car. When you go into the zone, you go like, holy cow, I went 30 miles. Like, and you don't even realize that you drove 30 miles,
Yeah.
right? For them, they don't even think about it. They just do it. I interview them based on skill set,
Mhm.
but I hire them based on personality
Absolutely.
because personality matters.
Mhm.
Personality is what's going to make your guests feel warm and welcome. Let's face it, like, you may click really well with the couple that's
Mhm.
interviewing you, but you want to guarantee them that your staff is going to click really well with their people.
Yes.
And they got a hot grandma or a hot uncle or
Yeah.
somebody, you know that that's going to mesh.
And I always think about the event too. I always think about who I'm talking to before I have the on-call bartenders. I think about, oh, she'd be great for this event. Oh, this is something Nikki would really thrive in, you
Yeah.
know, the type of environment. And the good thing about the girls that have been working for me, I've known them most of my adult life, whether they've been friends from college or people I've worked with in different restaurants, you know.
Mhm.
So I already know what they can do behind the bar. I know them as a person, you know.
Yeah.
So we have fun. We have a good time.
You might be my sister from another mother.
Maybe. I thought I recognized you.
No, seriously, like, everything that you're saying just hits to the very core of who I am, and I love that. I'm so excited for you and for your business.
You.
So let's talk a little bit. We gotta circle back to cocktails and
Absolutely.
mocktails.
That's important. That's important.
So tell me what makes Will Travel for Cocktails besides your background
Mhm.
and your experience and your bubbly
Oh.
personality and your willingness to make
Oh my
everyone
god,
feel
stop.
important, which is one of the most valuable gifts anyone can have in life.
Oh, thank you.
Tell me what is unique and different about your business and what you bring to the event.
Yeah, so I will say any brides that have tried our drinks at a wedding expo and the brides for the weddings that we've done so far, the biggest thing that I love is when we make a custom cocktail menu, right? They select these handcrafted drinks that I create in my mind, you know. And they pick those drinks and we deliver them. And that first sip, they do that first sip and you get the, oh my God, that's good. I love that. And I think that's something that makes us different is that we're crafting really delicious drinks, okay? Like we're not doing just watered down vodka, soda. Like we're
Yeah.
making something delicious and unique for your wedding day. So we have like the Misty Maple, like Misty's Maple Old Fashioned. I had Melissa's Botanical. You know, we're making custom drinks for them and they're also delicious. So that's what makes us different.
Our signature drink still hot.
Yes, yes, the brides are loving the signature drink. So they say almost every bride that reaches out to me first says, we really want a signature drink, at least one on the menu. And most of our packages include at least two.
Tell me, what's the average wedding that you're doing right now?
Yeah.
125 people?
Yeah, about 100 to 125, I would
That's
say.
what I've
Yeah.
seen across the board. Like, it's rarity that you see 150 or more, especially for like the barn
Yes.
DIY type weddings. They're
Yes.
usually right in that range. So a bar by list, I used to cocktail many years ago,
Yeah.
many
Not that
years
many
ago.
years ago.
Used to be scotch, bourbon, vodka, gin, rum, tequila. There was an
There we
order
go.
did I get it right? I was
Yeah.
close?
Yeah, you're close. So I'd say we do things a little bit differently where a lot of brides now don't even want a full service well.
Okay.
They don't even want a full bar. They want their signature drinks, maybe one or two, like a vodka cranberry, a rum and coke, some wine and beer. They want it more selective because really brides nowadays, people in general aren't drinking as much as they used to. You
That's
know,
a really good subject.
yeah, so they're not drinking as much as they want to. A lot of them want at least one mocktail option, which
Yeah.
we have a lot of beautiful mocktails.
Yeah.
And some of them I say you can spike them. So say they want a mocktail, but
Sure.
some people might want a shot of vodka in that.
Yeah.
Have the vodka on hand.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I say it's a safe roll to do at least two signature drinks, maybe some beer and seltzers, and then maybe like vodka, rum, maybe whiskey on hand, you know?
Gotcha.
Yeah, but we keep it a little bit more simple just because it saves them money in the
Right.
long run if they're not doing a full bar
Right.
and they get the drinks they really want.
Yeah. And let's face it, the bar is open for 4 hours, right? Basically, maybe cocktail hour 5.
Mhm.
And so, you don't really need the full spread.
No, and some people do get it, and, you know, some people they're like, "We're here to party." I'm like, "Heck yeah, let's do it." I'm not saying I love that, not saying there's anything wrong with that. I love that. But, you know, everyone has a certain vision for their day, and we can totally tailor any package to what you're looking for.
Do you serve shots?
Absolutely. So I actually have something fun. We have a party starter shot that's included in our classic party package and our
Okay.
razzle dazzle.
Okay.
So we can do something fun with that as far as like a custom mix shot, with a lemon drop shot. We can do a shot tower, which like we did a cigar and bourbon tower for
Like a champagne tower?
No, so I do like it's almost like a cupcake tower, like a
Okay.
cupcake 3-tiered tower.
Okay.
So like for our January wedding, we did shots of bourbon on the bottom, cigars and matches. So the guy,
Oh,
or we could do
so
like
cute.
yeah, something cute. So we can do a tequila one where we do like the mini bottles of tequila, the shot glasses with salt and limes on top of something fun that you can set up.
Yeah.
And also I know a lot of brides worry that their venue like they don't allow shots.
That's what I wanted to talk
There's
about.
always a workaround.
Okay.
One, money dance. A lot of venues, if you're saying it's a mixed shot and it's for the money dance, oh yeah, we can do that. We're
Okay.
making sure it's only one shot per person, nothing crazy.
Right.
Usually venues are, there's some wiggle room,
Okay.
And also if it's a toast, say like I had a couple that wanted to do our tiramisu martini as a shot as a toast.
Ooh, a tiramisu martini.
Yes, delicious, very delicious.
I want a tiramisu
Yeah,
martini.
cold brew, vanilla vodka, Baileys, whipped cream, cocoa powder, a little
You had me at
ladyfinger.
Bailey's. You had
Yes.
me.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. But they wanted to do it like a toast, like a shot, like one per guest as a toast. And the venue was okay with that.
Because I have seen some pushback from some of the
Yeah. And some of
venues.
them, if there is some pushback and they absolutely not, we can sub it for a mocktail or another mixed drink.
Yeah,
Like I
I
said,
like that.
everything's flexible.
Or you
Everything's
could do the
customizable.
drink and then have the shot on the side and pour it into their drink.
Exactly.
And then what are they going to say?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
But we work closely with the venues and most of them are understanding.
Yeah.
Especially, I feel like the money dance for Pittsburgh, like you need a shot for the money dance.
Yeah, the money dance. The money, for those of you that are listening, if you're unfamiliar, the money dances where they have a velvet bag
Mhm.
and you get to dance with the bride and the groom, but you put money in the bag.
Don't forget
before
the
you do
money.
it.
You got to pay first.
Yeah.
That goes right to the honeymoon.
I heard some DJ saying that you have to have a Venmo, or a Cash App.
I guess you do now. I didn't think about that. That's kind of sad.
A lot of people
I like the
don't have
money.
cash with them.
I like the cash.
Yeah, it is definitely part of the tradition. So I love that. I love that you make these different offerings for them. Tell me your favorite wedding story that for 2025.
For
Did you
2025.
you did some weddings in 2025?
Yeah, we did a
yes?
couple small ones, nothing
Okay.
crazy.
So let me talk about, we'll travel for cocktails. How far do you travel?
I will go anywhere within
Anywhere.
4 hours. So we have weddings scheduled out past Johnstown. I've done New Martinsville, West Virginia. We have Morgantown scheduled. Our circle's pretty wide for this area.
So do you book only one wedding per day?
Yeah, only one per day because I like to personally be there to make sure everything runs perfectly. And also I'm like obsessed with the detail. So I couldn't do more than one. I want
Yeah.
all of my attention on that wedding.
Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, we have done multiple weddings with Emmy Photo Booth, and it's tough because the girl in us, wants to make sure that everything is articulate and perfect.
Yes.
And if you have that eye and like you can see things and say, that's a little bit out of place. I want to
Yes.
correct that.
Yeah.
I want that to look really nice. That's something you can't teach someone else to do
Right.
if they don't have that gift as well.
Yeah, that's the hard thing. And I would like to, like, as we grow, obviously, like, I would like to be big enough that we have multiple
Yeah.
weddings a day. Obviously, I would have to get someone with the same eye for
Yeah.
it that could be there. I need
Yeah.
two of me. I need to clone myself.
Yeah, we did we do a lot of big events, and we were doing a big event for one of the universities here, and it was a Willy Wonka theme event.
That sounds fun.
It was phenomenal, and I made all these big oversized candy and all this stuff. Unfortunately, the event was on the same week that my mom passed.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you, I appreciate that. But like my mom passed on Wednesday and the event was on Friday, and I had no makeup on. I was in sweats and I showed up, because I just wanted to see how everything
Yeah.
looked. And I told the boys, move this, do this, do this, do that. And they're like, first of all, you don't need to be here. But second of all, you're right.
That's music to our ears, isn't it?
Right?
You're right.
It wouldn't be an event, casino event if Dawn didn't come in and
That's
tell
right.
us to move everything around
That's
and
literally
change
me.
it. It's an eye. Like you
Yeah.
have an eye. You have a designer eye. You see things a certain way that maybe, the boys that work logistics just they don't have that eye. And even the client showed up. She was like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, I love you. It brings me joy.
It's your baby. It's your
It's
baby.
my
You gotta make
baby.
sure it's perfect.
And I got my creative side from my mom.
Mhm.
So in a way, it was my being respectful of her
Yes.
memory because when I was a young girl, my mother used to craft with everything, crochet, sew, you name it. She taught me how to sew when I was a very little girl. She would always win in Bellevue. We grew up I lived in Bellevue as a little girl, went to Jackson Elementary, but she would always win the parade. Whatever my costume was or my sister's costume or my brother's costume,
Mhm.
always won.
Oh, that's so nice.
Like, everybody, like, "Oh, no, Ruth is in it.
Like, they're done
They're
for.
done."
She
Like,
smoked them.
she always smoked them. So, I get that from
Yeah,
her.
that's
My dad
great.
was a business person, so I it's kind of this balance of, the creative side from mom and the business side from dad.
Yeah, it sounds like you got the best of both
I
sides.
did. I was very blessed. I was very, very blessed in that capacity, but it's not something that you can teach.
No, it's a gift for sure.
It
Yeah,
is.
and it's nice because it's funny when you have family members that are creative like that, it does seem to be it
Yeah,
kinda
it
it
is.
kinda gets passed down. It's weird.
It is definitely and it's left brain, right brain kinda
Yes,
thing, but
yes.
I think and I've had this conversation before as well, like, the people that do well in this
Mhm.
industry are those that have that creative aspect in any capacity,
Yes.
whatever realm that they're in, but they're also doers.
Yes. That's
Eh
important in this industry.
Yeah, they get shit done.
Yes, because anybody can have the idea, and it sounds great,
Right,
but are you gonna do it? Are you
right,
gonna wake up at 3 a.m. and make sure it's
right.
perfect?
Are you gonna return that email?
Yeah, at
Let's talk
midnight.
about that a little bit. Let's talk about that a little bit. What do you think about when a bride emails you? Let's say you're working a wedding on
Mhm.
Saturday and you're busy. Obviously, you can't respond. You've got a line full of
Yeah.
customers and you're exhausted, tired on Sunday. You come home. When do you respond to that bride? And why is it important to you to respond to that bride? Tell me a little bit about how that,
Yeah.
for you as a
Yeah.
person.
That's a great question. And I think for me as a person, I need to respond as soon as I'm physically capable of. So for me, it's my first priority. Okay. As soon as like I was at a wedding expo on Sunday, I saw a text message. I couldn't physically answer because I had brides coming up and I want to give them my undivided
Sure.
attention. As soon as we're packed up and in the car, I'm on my phone texting back.
Yeah.
For me, it's not my number one priority because not only is it my business, but I care a lot.
Yeah.
And also, I know it's your wedding
Yeah.
and it's important. These questions are
Yeah.
important, whatever you want to change your drink for the menu,
Sure.
your guest count went up, you want to do mimosas before the event starts. It's important to plan these out ahead of time, and I want to give you my undivided attention.
And even acknowledgement of receipt.
Yes.
Like, and this is what bothers me a little bit with some professionals that they put on their email, I don't respond on Sundays or Mondays because I have to have a work life balance.
No, I
To
know.
me, that's like fingernails going down a
Yes.
chalkboard. You have a work-life balance because you're self-employed.
Yes.
You are graced by God that you're self-employed and that you can make a living doing what you
Right.
love and passion, and that you're not beholden or working to for somebody else, for anyone else,
Yes.
and it takes 30 seconds to respond to an email. Got it? On it?
Right.
I'm out for 2 days, I'll get back to you.
Yes.
Like, that's all they
I think it's
want.
so important to respond. And also as a new business for me, I feel like in my head, if I don't respond right away, I've already lost the sale. This industry is moving quickly. There's a million vendors to choose from. And it's more of those people connections. If I respond to you and they're like, oh, she's so nice. Oh, that's so great. We're going to set up a consultation call. Oh, I love her packages. That's how I get my sales. So for me, that's how my business is running. I'm not going to wait a day to call you back.
So you know the biggest secret of Gen Z.
Responding right away. Yes.
Wanna wait.
We're impatient, I
Yeah,
think that just everyone, not even just Gen Z, I think technology has made us impatient.
yeah,
A lot of things are instantaneous for us now, a lot of things are auto-generated messages, so we want it right away, and for brides, I can't blame them, planning a wedding stressful. You wanna get all your ducks in a row, you wanna get
right,
everything planned. When
right.
you have the money and you're ready to put that deposit down, let's
And they're
get
the
it done.
customer when it's convenient for them. It may
Yes.
not be convenient for you because you're working a wedding and it's Sunday and you're resting from the wedding that you worked on Sunday, but they may have a 9 to 5 job and they can't connect with you
Yeah.
during the week. So you have to remember they're the customer.
Absolutely, and I think, maybe some vendors just weren't in the industry, in the hospitality industry before this,
Bam.
because
Yeah,
for me, this is almost like a break for me
yeah,
because I go from working 50, 55 hours a week,
yeah,
getting texts as soon as I leave,
Yeah.
scheduling problems, fires I have to put out even from home. I'm always on my
Sure.
phone. So at least now when I pick up my phone, it's for my business. It's for,
Yeah.
something I'm passionate about. It's not someone else's business.
And as strained as the economy is,
Mhm.
and we all feel it. You can see the stores closing. There's
Yes.
3 major stores that have closed this
Mm.
year. The economy is pressed, and if you give the client the opportunity to find someone else, they will.
Yeah. I'm not giving them any chances.
Right?
I'm calling you back
You're
right
gonna
away.
you're gonna at least, you have to show enthusiasm, you have to show responsibility, you have to show availability that
Yes.
you're willing to connect with them, and that, that prima donna status, I don't think it sits really well with this
I don't
generation.
think it does, and I don't think it should.
No.
And for us, when you contact Will Travel for Cocktails, it's me answering. And I am what you like, I'm at face value here. You know what I
Right.
mean? This is what you get.
I
I am who I am. Like, you're going to call me. I'm the same. I'll talk to you the same as I talk to my best friend when she calls me. Like, I'm not, everything's up front. This
I
is,
love that.
this is who we are. This is what we do. Let's celebrate together. Let's make a plan.
I love
It should
that.
be fun at your wedding. It's the bar
Yeah.
service.
And you should hire vendors that connect with you in that capacity, that make you feel that comfortable
Yes.
and that available
Yes.
as well. Not, where there's this little mini wall between you and they set all the parameters of that engagement. Engagement works both ways.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's really important that you let your clients know that you're available to them. So let's talk about, what's your favorite cocktail? Oh, we already took that one, right? We did the cocktail one. So I know that you were at the Sip and Shop show,
Yes.
and that's where I met you.
Yes.
So the Sip and Shop show is different than other bridal
Mhm.
shows. We do it in a boutique capacity. And I'm not trying to get into the business of doing bridal shows. I don't want that job. What I want to do is connect the community and the couples together in a very organic and natural way where they're meeting you as a friend.
Yes.
They're meeting you as somebody they just
Yeah.
met. Uh, And so that's why we do the cocktail hour and we play the fun little game, because
Mhm.
I want them to talk to you a little bit
Yeah.
before they come around and they see you in your booth and they're like, Lena,
Yeah, like,
I
what
got the Queen of Hearts from you. Like, and what it does is it takes down that where they don't want to approach you at a bridal
Yes.
show, because there's some like, oh no, you can feel it. You're really good at reading people. I'm sure that you feel that at some of the other shows where people were like not wanting to
Yeah,
approach.
they're a little nervous sometimes, which it's
They're a little
okay. We all get shy. Well, I
Yeah,
don't get shy, but some people get shy, that's okay. But, I think your, event, you succeeded in that. Everyone was so excited when they walked in those doors.
yeah,
They walked in, and we had the whole bar set up that day.
yeah.
So
It
and
was
I had
beautiful.
Thank you.
I'll put some pictures
Okay,
in.
great, but we had the whole setup that day, and we had full-size mocktails that day. You should have seen their eyes light up. They walked in the door, they saw those mocktails. "Oh, what you got over here?" I'm like, "Come on over." So we didn't have that issue at your show. We did
After we
not.
hit the cookie table,
Yeah,
they hit
exactly.
the cookie table pretty hard.
Yes, they were all sugar high. I love that. We got
Yeah.
some mocktails in them. They were loving it.
I asked the vendors to do the cookie table for the brides because it's my opinion when they're at a wedding, they probably don't have the opportunity
That's a
to
good point. At
enjoy.
my wedding, I think I got, like, 1 cookie. It was all gone. I was
Right.
so sad.
So I asked the vendors at the Sip and Shop in January, I was like, everybody bring 2 dozen cookies. And we kind of like articulated so that they didn't overlap, so that we had
Yeah.
a nice
It
spread of
was
everything.
beautiful. It
It
really
was
was.
beautiful. And we had 132 people through the door for that event. And we had 770 cookies, which
Yeah.
breaks down to just under 6 cookies per person.
Mhm.
We had 12 cookies left.
Yeah, I think my husband ate a few of them.
But I did that for the brides, but I also did it for the math because everybody has different opinions on how many cookies you should have.
Yeah.
And I'm on the side of 6, I think is good. A lot of people don't need sugar. A lot of people are
Yeah,
gluten intolerant.
right.
So I think
I think
6 is
6
good.
is a good
I
number.
think 6 is a good
'Cause I'm
number.
not gonna lie, when I'm at a wedding and there's a cookie table, I'm grabbing a box. I think I might take 12. I'm like,
Right.
"We're eating these later at the hotel.
Yeah.
We're eating them for
But
breakfast."
for every person that takes 12, there's somebody that
Someone
doesn't take
take
any.
1. They're
Yeah.
better than me, they're good, they're
Right.
eating 1, they're being I'll eat a couple extra for them, it's okay.
So what is new on the bar front? Anything new? Anything new coming out that we need to know about that's fun and exciting?
Yeah, so I have a bunch of ideas coming up,
Okay.
but we do have something new we just started advertising is the traveling tea room, where it's a mimosa and afternoon tea experience. So I was
Mm.
kinda targeting our bridal shower crowds because our mimosa bar is so popular for bridal showers. Um, People love setting that up, the little mimosa cart, 1 or 2 signature flavors. And I love a good tea party. So I was like, what if we combine that with a full service afternoon tea experience? So we're really excited about that. There's more on the website, willtravelforcocktails.com, if you're interested in setting something like that up. We can do as much or as little as you want. If you just want tea and mimosas and you bring your own food, if you want us to help organize some little desserts and bites, we can make that happen. So
Yeah, you got to have some biscuits or cookies
I
or
have some
things, right?
ideas.
You do?
I would like to do full service, like, a
Yeah.
little bit of everything, but we'll see how it goes this year. I'll keep you in the loop.
Interesting. I might need some mimosas for the event on the 3rd.
Oh my gosh, please let me know. The
We might
girls
have to
love the
talk.
mimosas.
They
And
do?
I will say a lot of people, like an event we just did Saturday, we did
Uh-huh.
one mimosa and one mocktail actually, which went
Okay.
over very well. A lot of the girls got mocktails and some got mimosas. So that's something to think about as
So
well.
when you do a mimosa, is it like a classic mimosa or do you have a
I don't do
special
anything
twist?
really classic. I
I
like to
love that. I
spice it up.
knew that was gonna be your answer. I absolutely knew
I
it.
need to spice it up a little bit. But we do so again, it's all customized. So I'll send the bride a couple flavor options that I think are appropriate to the event and the vibe.
Okay.
They pick what they want. We have anything from grapefruit to raspberry lemon. We have blood orange. We have strawberry.
Okay.
Pick what you want. You want some edible glitter in there? Do we want a sugar rim? Do we want a rose petal garnish?
Yeah.
What are we feeling? We could do
I
anything,
love
right?
it.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah, it's fun.
that. I
Have
love
fun with
that.
it.
I love that. Mix it up. Make it unique.
Yeah.
Will travel for cocktails.com. You can
Yes.
also find her on Pittsburgh Brides. She is one of our vendors that have
That's right.
joined the platform. I have verified and vetted. She is licensed and insured.
I
You can
paid
book with
I paid up.
confidence.
We're official.
If you're official, ready to do some business.
That's right.
How much do you recommend in advance that couples book their bar service?
I would say at least 6 months in advance, just so
Okay.
you can plan accordingly with your alcohol purchasing. If you wanna, like, spread it out, I know some brides will buy a little bit of alcohol and start stashing it away, then buy more as the event
Smart.
gets closer. Also, it gives you more time to plan your bar service if we're doing a custom menu, if your guest list expands or you have less guests show up than you planned for. I just like to be planned ahead of time. But if you're a month out and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I think I do need a bartender," like, let's say we were
Yeah.
gonna try to DIY and we were gonna do it ourselves and you're like, "This is too much," we're also available.
Call
We
me.
can be there. Yeah, call me tomorrow, call me
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
We can set something up.
Yeah, and I think I've seen a lot of brides in the group through the years because I've seen historically through the years comments and posts that they make. They want their cousin or somebody to be a bartender.
I don't like that. It's not a
Yeah.
good idea
Talk
because
about that.
cousin Billy's gonna be at the wedding and he's gonna wanna party, okay? So he's
Yeah.
gonna do a couple drinks for people, then he's gonna start drinking, and all of a sudden, where's
Yeah.
cousin Billy? He's at the cookie table, he's not taking it serious.
Yeah. And it's also a liability thing at
Yeah,
that point too,
for sure, he's
right?
not licensed and insured,
Right.
How are you figuring out how much alcohol you need? Do you have a menu? What about ice? What about glassware? There's a lot more to it than you
So your
realize.
service starts once they say yes, you're preparing them for their wedding, like, one step at a
Yes,
time. It's a
absolutely.
process.
Yes.
It's not just show up that day and, "Woohoo, I'm gonna serve some alcohol for you,"
Correct. Yeah,
right?
everything's pre-planned and accounted for. So we break down for them from their package of what they want. We tell them everything that's included so they know what like I had a bride reach out, "What do I need?" And I sent her like a list, bullet point, everything that I was bringing. She's like, "I don't need anything." I'm like, "That's right, girl. You don't need anything." So we just break it down piece by piece for them.
And I say booking sooner is better than later because the sooner you know what you need or don't need, the better.
Yes.
It helps you
Yeah, it helps you
adjust your
plan your
budget.
wedding. But, when they book with us, I just try to make the bar one less thing they have to stress about.
Yeah.
So we immediately talk about their drink vision. What drinks are we going to do? We pick those drinks. I send them their liquor ordering guide based on their guest count and how many hours of service we're doing.
Mhm.
We have scheduled check-ins 3 months before, 2 months before, just checking everything's going ahead of time. We're setting up at this time. Do you
Mhm.
need anything from me? What can I do to help?
Have you ever considered or do you already offer a service where one of your servers goes out into the crowd and takes orders?
Yeah, we have that as an option if they
Do
wanna
you?
add that on. Yeah, we can do cocktail servers. We have coordinated champagne toast. A lot of brides add that on, where the server just goes out and makes sure every table has a glass of champagne
Yeah.
for the toast.
I think that's important in the guest experience. The thing that people remember most about from weddings is the guest experience.
Absolutely.
It's not necessarily the gorgeous dress that you bought or the
Yes.
beautiful flowers that you paid for, although those are things that you wanted or the
Yes.
suit that your groom wanted or, the venue, the gorgeous venue. That's also part of the guest experience, but it boils down to how you made them feel. How important are
Absolutely.
they to you on your day? It's
Yes.
not just your day, your way. It's how important you're honored that they're there. You're gracious that they're there. You want them to feel amazing. You want them to feel cared for. You want the food on the table warm and hot. You wanna make sure that they have water during the ceremony. You
Mhm.
wanna make sure that they have beverages, once the reception
Yeah.
begins. You wanna make sure that even parking, that's one of the things that really gets me. Downtown Pittsburgh, they have all these bus lanes
Yes.
now, and they have the bike lanes.
Mhm.
It's really hard to find a place to
It
park.
is.
Like, that's also part of the guest experience. From the moment they arrive at your wedding to the moment that they leave, you wanna try and make that as seamless and as beautiful as you possibly can,
Yes.
and if you have a bar service that's willing to go the extra mile and say, "It's a little bit slow, everybody's on the dance floor, there's no line at the bar. Sherry, can you go out and check all the tables and make sure that everybody has
Absolutely.
a cocktail?" I think that's bringing in a great guest experience. I think it's so important.
Absolutely, and I love that you said that because you're right. The experience is what people remember, the party. We had so much
Yeah,
fun. We
yeah,
had such a good time.
right.
The memories you make. And the wedding bar is a big part of that at a wedding. Think
Yeah,
about that, the party starts at the bar. Your first drink of the night, or make sure the bride has a cocktail.
yeah,
They're having fun with it, and it's so important to treat people how you would wanna be treated on your wedding
sure.
day. So we read the room, see what's going on. Like you said, if it's slow, someone would go out and check on everyone,
Yeah,
clear up glass.
yeah.
And I like that you said that about water too. We actually all of our packages include a hydration station because that's important as
Oh
well.
my
So
goodness.
we do fruit infused waters and set it up self-serve.
Oh my
So
goodness.
everyone has access to it because that's
That's one of
very
my pet
important.
peeves. This is
Yes.
one of my pet peeves, and I'm gonna tell you the story. It was at Heartwood Acres, and we were setting up the photo booth
Mhm.
service there, and they had a mobile bar service come in,
Mhm.
and that mobile bar service did not offer water.
How do you not offer
How do
water?
you not offer
For
water?
what is it, 4 to 5 hours of service, no water?
Right, well, and their service didn't start until 6 o'clock. This
Mhm.
story is more entailed than that, but the bride did not even arrive yet because she was unhappy with her makeup,
Mm.
so she had it all removed,
Oh, poor
had
thing.
all of her makeup redone by her best friend.
Yeah.
She's feeling better. She's arriving an hour late. This wedding was in July.
Wow.
So we had a bunch of elderly that were sitting in the ceremony, and there's no water.
Oh gosh.
There's 100 people waiting for this bride to arrive for the ceremony.
An hour late.
An hour late,
July.
there's July,
No
no
water.
water. So the mobile bar pulls up, and I'm like, "Do you have water?"
Yes.
And she's like, "We don't open till 6, and we don't have any water." I was like,
What do
and
you mean?
the venue, you can't get in the building, they don't have any facility or any way to help you with it, and so I took $100 out of my purse, I looked at my event manager and I
Yeah.
said, "Go down to the store, get as many buckets of ice that you can or bags of ice that you can, and get a couple cases of water." And we
Yeah.
have this big round tub that we use to put equipment in. And I was like, "Dump all that and let's ice it all down."
Yes.
And he did. He came back. He had 4 bags of ice and 4 cases of water, and we iced it all down. And like everybody was like,
You
just
saved the day.
well,
Thank God you were there.
it's common sense to
It's common
me,
sense to anyone in
and
a
it's one of those,
hospitality mind.
right?
Yeah, with a hospitality
With a
mindset.
hospitality mind,
Yes.
right? And I remember the wedding planners thanking me, "Thank you for doing that, Dawn," and I was thinking to myself,
Shouldn't they?
"Yeah, like, you're welcome," and then the bride and groom, of course, thanked me
Yeah.
afterwards. I'm like, "We heard what you did. Thank you so much." But think about your guest experience. I'm not saying this to, like, self-reflect on
No,
me
no,
or
but it's
anything.
so important because it's little details like that. The bride and groom, they're not thinking about water when
No.
they're booking their
Or that
services.
they're gonna be an hour late and that their guests are out in the
You
sun for
need
an
it's like what
hour.
we talked about before, putting out fires. You need to plan for the unexpected. You need
Yes.
to have someone with that mindset where you're
And
like,
you have to hire people with that mindset.
"Yes,
Somebody
yes,
that says, "All of these people are gonna pass out if they don't get some water."
right."
And I was like, at that point, $80 worth of ice and water is worth it if grandma doesn't pass out. Okay?
Absolutely.
You do what you have to
It's those
do
little details that you need, vendors that think of that, think
that are
ahead like
willing to
that.
step up.
Yeah.
But again, it comes back to the guest experience. Yes, it's your wedding, your day, your way. We want you to have the wedding that you dreamed of.
Absolutely.
But when you're putting your glasses on and you're thinking through everything and you're deciding on what you're going to choose and what you're not going to
Mhm.
choose, try to think of yourself as a guest at a wedding.
Yeah.
And think about all the little faux things at other weddings that you've been to. The line at the bar was too long, or that they served this cake that was not very
Or it
good.
melted because it was put
Or
outside in the
exactly,
heat. Yes.
exactly. So just kinda look at everything through the lenses of a guest. I wanna ask you this, how many bartenders do you typically have for a wedding of 100?
Yeah, usually at least 2, if not 3. We usually have 2
Okay,
and a bar back.
okay.
Yeah, for every 50, we usually have 1.
And you supply, like, all the hardware that they need, the
Anything you
glasses,
could
everything?
possibly need for a bar setup, we have
Okay,
from the portable bars, glasses, straws, napkins, garnishes, ice, plenty of ice, water, any non-alcoholic drinks that they choose beforehand. We have it all figured out, penciled in, like nothing's just put together. What sodas do you want on hand? I would suggest these ones, based off
sure.
popularity. Everything's planned for you, so you don't have that moment of, "My gosh, we didn't think of getting water." Everything's planned.
And so I love that. What are your prices? Tell me what your starting point is.
Yeah.
A wedding, let's just say it's for 100 people.
Yeah, so right now I actually recently changed mine so it's per person, so it's even easier to for
Okay,
brides. We have packages as low as $10 per person,
okay.
and then once they hit 100 guests, I even discount that even further.
Very fair rate.
Yeah, very fair rating for this area and
Mhm.
for everything that we provide, and that includes your bartenders, the portable bars, and everything you need for the bars. Brides have been pretty happy with our prices. I've had a couple reach out to me that they're like, "This is like a breath of fresh air. This is great."
Do you have production or admin or sales tax on top of that?
No,
Anything
so
like that?
the only thing for the bigger packages, like for a bigger wedding, we have auto gratuity, which we
Okay,
let them
makes
know.
sense.
Yeah, we have like a 18% auto gratuity for some packages, not all. It depends on the guest count.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's some subject to talk about, like the tip jar.
Yes,
And I know working in hospitality, like, you want that tip jar because you want your staff to earn that gratuity, but on the other side of the coin, how does that make the guests feel when they're getting a drink?
absolutely.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I think it comes back to reading the room. And I always talk to the brides and everything beforehand.
Okay.
So I have a wedding coming up in April where we had the auto gratuity because it's a larger wedding. And the woman booking it, she was like, "And I want you guys to put tip jars out too. You guys work hard, you
Yeah.
deserve it. And also, what do you want for dinner?" I'm like, "I just love you. You're so nice."
Yeah.
But that's not always expected. And
Right.
for me, I plan like we're not having a tip jar. So that's how I plan every wedding. So I give my bartenders a base pay and then they split the auto gratuity. And then if we
Gotcha.
get any tips on top of that, great, thank you.
Right.
But it's not needed because we do have our auto gratuity for the larger weddings.
You should.
Yeah, and the base pay because it's a long day. We're driving out there, we're
Yeah.
loading up the truck, we're unloading it, we're setting up,
Right.
we're breaking down, we're taking all the garbage with us. Like we like to leave it like we were never there at the bar. Take all
Yeah.
the trash, everything with us.
Yeah. It's good, hospitality for the venue as well.
Yeah,
Because then the venue welcomes you back. They want
absolutely.
you back on set.
Now, I will say most couples though encourage the tip jar as well. Most
Do
people,
they?
yeah, most weddings, like most people end up
Okay.
tipping you as well.
Wasn't sure on that because, like, for us, we don't add in automatic gratuity for
Right.
our staff, but it is on our contract that says if you would like to tip the staff, you can do so directly yourself,
Mm,
or post-event, if you wanna contact us and you wanna add it on, you can.
absolutely, yeah.
It's such a
It's
delicate.
a delicate situation, but I've found in the last few months of booking weddings that I thought it was more delicate than it is, and most people are open to that conversation. I think for us, for hospitality, is one thing that in our minds has always been a touchy subject. In
Yeah,
restaurants, people can get weird about it, or
yeah.
if you auto gratuity on a big party in a
Sure.
dining room. But
Well,
I've noticed in weddings, people are more. They're like, okay, so how are we tipping? How are we doing that?
yeah.
It's more
And
of
a
a
bar service, respectfully, you think of gratuity more than you do with,
that's
photo
true.
booth
That's
service.
true.
So
Yeah.
maybe that's the variable
Yeah.
there.
That could be true. Yeah.
But I'm so glad that you joined me here
Oh, me too.
today and
Thank
getting
you.
to know you a
Yes.
little bit better. Did we miss anything? Is there anything that you want to talk about?
Well, the only thing I wanna do is give you this bottle of champagne so you can make some mimosas at home.
Verde. There's a story
Uh-oh.
here. You didn't know
I
this.
did not know. I just grabbed you
It's
your bottle.
serendipitous
Okay.
that you brought me this because, Verde is one of the inexpensive
Yes.
bubblies that you can get,
Yes.
but I fell in love with it at my brother's wedding, and I'd have to call him out on this. I'm gonna say better part of 25 years ago,
Oh, wow.
and he had this at his wedding, and I fell in love with it so much. I was like, when I lived in Houston, I came
Mhm.
back for his wedding in Pittsburgh,
Mhm.
and when I came back, I was like, "You gotta go buy me some bottles of that stuff so I can take it back to Houston because they don't have it."
You're addicted.
I was addicted. And I have always loved Verdi, so thank you for that.
Oh, to be.
It was serendipitous, I'm telling you, like, the irony of that, because I'm not a lot of people like Cabernets and, like, really bitter, dry wines.
Yeah.
Give me something sweet,
I'm a
and I'm
sweet
good.
drinker as well. I need something
Yeah. I
sweet.
want some sugar.
Yeah, we deserve a sweet treat. We all
Yes.
do.
Yeah. And if there's no cookie table, there's Verde.
That's right.
Well, thank you for my bottle of Verde.
You're
I
welcome.
love it.
You're
I'm gonna enjoy
welcome.
It's chilled and everything. I might be able to have a late day sip of wine while working
Oh,
today.
good. You're welcome. I was thinking about bringing a whole cocktail, but I was like, that might get messy driving down with the shaker and everything. So we're doing the
I'm
champagne.
sure I'm gonna get to experience your talents very
Yes,
soon. I'm looking
yes.
forward to that. So let's talk about your favorite wedding. What was your favorite moment?
So actually, this past January, the weekend of the terrible snowstorm, we had our first wedding of 2026 scheduled.
Okay.
And it was in West Virginia. So, that's how committed I am. I was like, we're making this happen. We're gonna get there in the snowstorm. So it was beautiful actually. I got down the night before to be safe, before the storm started on Sunday.
Smart.
Yeah, so we got down there a day ahead to be safe. It was a beautiful home reception actually. The bride has a beautiful restored Victorian house and with the snow background, and we leaned into the
wow.
winter vibe. It was just magical, and it was, obviously not everyone could have made it because of the storm,
Oh,
but everybody that could be there was there, and you could feel the love in the room, and it was so, private and such a special moment. So we were really happy to be a part of it. Yeah,
I
it was
love
fun.
that.
It was
I love
fun.
that. I love weddings.
Yes, I love weddings and even something like that so unique like the home reception, which I have a few scheduled this year. We're seeing more and more home receptions. So
Yeah.
so unique and so personalized,
Yeah.
You have a chance to really make something really it just feels like homemade, special, like you're
Yeah.
with your family and close
Again, it goes
friends.
back to the guest experience.
Yes.
Like, they want something intimate and for themselves,
Yes.
but your guests are gonna be far more comfortable in your home with your
Yes.
parents' home than they will in any venue that
They
they
had
have
a
to
great
drive
time.
to.
I'll tell you what, they had a great time. So
I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that.
my favorite part was that she had a few dogs, and I'm a huge animal lover.
Are
Anybody that
you?
knows me. I have 3 dogs myself, and it was so funny. I'm bartending. One of her little dogs was like actually tried to crawl in the bar, like on the shelf. And she's like, I'm sorry. I was like, please don't apologize. This just made my whole day.
Cute. It's so cute.
It
So
was
cute. I love
fantastic. Yeah, I loved it.
I love that. Well, I think that you're young and just getting started, and
Thank
I'm
you.
excited to see what happens with your career. I think that
Thank
you're gonna do
you.
well
Thank you so
in
much, Dawn.
weddings in Pittsburgh. You have, the magic to make it happen, and you
Thank
have the
you.
heart and the passion for involvement.
That's so nice of you.
And so you have my endorsement always. I will
Oh,
support
thank you.
you. You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Dawn. It was so great to connect today and have this fun conversation. It didn't even feel like a podcast. It just
Yeah.
felt like we were hanging out.
Yeah.
And we have so much more to talk about. I feel like we could talk
have
more.
a lot more to talk about. My editor will be like, you went a little crazy on that one. But I will enjoy this later. And I hope that you enjoyed this conversation getting to know Lena from Will Travel for Cocktails. Such a great name, willtravelforcocktails.com. You can also find her on pittsburghbrides.com. And if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up, a like, subscribe, and
Yes.
share with your friends. And I will leave your contact information in all the information below.
Yes, please give me a follow. And if you have any questions regarding your wedding bar, please send me a DM. I'd be happy to help. Thank
I love
you,
that.
Dawn.
I love that. All right. Thanks, everyone.
you.
Talk to you later. Bye.